Hello YouTube, Onyx here. Welcome to another Pokemon challenge. Last time we attempted to beat Pokemon Red and Blue with a single Ekans using its first 4 moves. I appreciate all the comments that I got from that. Today's challenge we're going to be looking at beating Pokemon Silver with a single Chikorita, as I noticed I haven't done a Pokemon Generation 2 challenge in quite a while. Before we get on to the stats and rules, I just wanted to give out a quick shout out to Stealth and Earth67. These are 2 active members to my Discord and they both have their own channels, which I'll link in description below, so go and check it out. Anyway, looking at the base stats for the Chikorita, it's not too great other than the defense and special defense being something notable. When it comes to the moves as well, it's very limiting, but at least it has things like Reflect and Light Screen. Well, looking at the rules of this challenge, pretty simple. It will be only Chikorita in battle, no TMs or HMs in battle, and no items or hold items in battle. With all that said, let us get on to this challenge. Well, starting off this challenge, I realised that many people don't actually like using Chikorita in battle, so I had a little thought to myself of something that I'm not too keen of when naming the character. So we start off in New Bark Town, speak to the rival who's peering into the lab. He knocks us back. Oh well, we head inside and pick ourselves up Chikorita, which we name Radish. After we go and get the egg up in the house, we move back down to Cherry Grove City to face our rival for the first time. We gained 1 level up along the way and we basically just used tackles until we win on Cyndaquil and get another level up. After that we went back to the lab and spoke to him about the egg and all that jazz. We eventually make our way over to Violet City's Suit Tower where we go and take on the Sage. He brings out his Bellsprout where all we've got to do is use Razor Leaves as it's the most effective move that we have at this point in time. And I think it's actually one of the only moves we're going to be able to use grass type wise all the way through the run, as the only other grass move I think it learns is Solar Beam at level 50, and that's not going to really cut it later on. So we take down the first 2 Bellsprouts and then it comes to his Hoot Toot, so all we do here is continually using the Razor Leafs. In fact, this actually gave me some deja vu when it came to my old Team Grass challenge in Crystal. So we eventually take down the Sage and we get the HM5 Flash that we will put on the Togepi later. Now we move over to the Violet City's gym leader, Falconer. So Pidgey comes out, we go for Razor Leaf as again it's the heaviest hitting move. We get a critical luckily to finish that off. Pidgeotto comes out, we do alright damage, but we obviously just continue using Razor Leaf as we're hit with Gust. That's also hitting some good damage against us, but we eventually take it out and earn the first badge and gain a level up at the same time. It's a win-win situation. So when we head over to Azalean Town, we try and leave, and Ghastly, well not Ghastly, our rival comes along and sends out Ghastly. We take that down with 2 Razor Leafs as we're hit with Spite. Now it's time for the Zubats. We go for Tackle, as that I think that's a little bit better. I did notice that Razor Leaf has quite a good critical hit ratio, so it is quite a good move to have. Now time for the Quilava, which could be an issue as it does know Ember, which if it gets a critical hit can do very good damage. We continuously use Tackle hoping for a critical ourselves, which we managed to get 2 during the battle, winning us. We needed that extra XP I believe. So the problem we were having here was with the gym leader Bugsy, as it is super effective against grass types, especially with the Fury Cutter. We get to level 25 as I just thought why not before taking it on. Metapod's not the problem. Kakuna can be an issue as it uses Poison Sting and that can obviously poison us, which isn't good. Now I found out that when it comes to the Cyphers Fury Cutter, it doesn't actually work if you use Reflect. I think I do use Reflect at first and I kept getting taken out. The problem is Fury Cutter is a stackable move, so every time it actually is successful and hits, the Fury Cutter does more damage. So really all you have to do is keep using Tackle and hoping that on its attempt that it misses a few times, and on this one it did, and we've earned our 2nd badge reliefly. We then head all the way over to Goldenrod City, fighting a few trainers along the way, gaining the level 28 now, to face on Whitney. So she's usually resounded to be quite a hard trainer. On this one, not too bad really. As she hits us with a Metronome Crabhammer, we take down the Clefairy with 2 Razor Leafs. Now it's for the Milk Tank. Again, it's got its stackable rollout, but isn't hitting very heavy damage, and we get a critical. So the second Razor Leaf takes her out, so quite easy actually to get the 3rd badge. We now get to level 29 and also learn the move Body Slam, so we're almost at the final setup already, and we've only just got the 3rd badge out of the 16 badges in this game. We head now over to the Eruptor City or something and go to the tower where we find a rival again. And this time he brings out a Haunter. Haunter is a problem because it has Curse, and that does very heavy damage to you if you're not going to get lucky with some criticals throughout the run, basically. So we have got Cursed on us, which can be a problem, but luckily we now have Body Slam, so we one-shot the Zubat. When it comes to the Quilava, we can do very good damage as well, so the second Body Slam takes that out as well, getting us up a level up as well. So Curse isn't too much of a problem. This is also where we could have a bit of an issue with the Magneton, as it hits quite good damage, so we go for a couple of Razor Leafs. As we're left with 8 HP, we actually do manage to win on this attempt. So we obviously stop ourselves from leveling up and head over to face Morty. So Morty obviously has 4 ghost types, has these Ghastly, Haunters, and his Gengar. His Gengar is the main issue, as it's tanky as hell and can also use the Hypnosis. I go for Razor Leaf because it's probably the only move that can hit, and hoping for a critical. We take down the first Ghastly in 2. The Haunter goes down in 2 as well, but it does, well, actually in 1 because it uses Curse. So there's the issue there. We're hoping for a critical, which we do get as we're hit with the Curse, but then the Gengar uses Mean Look. That's the better of the 2. It then goes for a Hypnosis and doesn't affect us, so the second Razor Leaf finishes that off. So we're down to the final Haunter, where we go for Razor Leaf once again, and we managed to get a critical, taking it out, and we've earned our 4th badge. There was many times where the Hypnosis would hit, or we would just get taken out with the Curse or not get a critical. So after that, we make our way over to Alittle City, or we surf our way over there to face the gym leader Chuck. He's going to be a little bit more easier, I believe, as we've got a few levels. Body Slam, nearly taking out Primate, but also getting the Paralyze on. We're hit with Leer, the second Body Slam takes down Primate. For Poliwrath, I think it's a 1-shot with Razor Leaf, or a 2-shot. No, it was a 1-shot because we get a critical and we earn our 5th badge very quickly. After that, we obviously get the Super Potion, give it to Jasmine, and head over to the gym to face her. So I thought Jasmine was going to be a little bit harder than she ended up being, but I found after repeatedly trying to fight her, or fighting other Pokemon as well, that eventually for some reason Thunder Wave doesn't actually always hit you. It becomes ineffective for some reason, I'm not sure why. Anyway, the Magnemite goes down in 2 Razor Leafs. When it comes to Steelix, it's also going to be, I think, a 2-shot. Normally, that critical did do some good damage. Actually, it's a 3-shot with Razor Leaf, but we managed to get the second critical on the time it healed it with the Hyper Potion. Then it goes to the Magnemite once again, but this time the Thunder Wave does hit us. So as you see before, it didn't for some reason, and then this time it did. But we managed to get on the 3 Razor Leaves eventually to take it out, as we're hit with a few Sonic Booms. But there we are, we've taken down Jasmine and earned the 6th badge already. After which we go over to the Mahogany Town, go to the Lake of Rage, deal with the shiny Gyarados, go over to Lance into the Team Rocket hidden hideout, and then we fight this executive who has an Arbok to begin with, but we take it out with 1 Body Slam. Then it comes to the Gloom. I think it's also a 1-shot with Body Slam, as we're hitting some good damage now. And then the Murkrow, we go for a Razor Leaf, which I think is a 2-shot, as we're hit with Peck. After that, what we do is obviously take down the Electrodes before we move on to actually now be able to take on the gym in the Mahogany Town. After clearing it, we go and fight Face. Usually he's quite easy, to be honest, but he does have the type advantage against us, so if he manages to freeze us or something, that could be a problem. But we're not going to give him a chance, as we take down his Seal with 1 Razor Leaf. When it comes to Dewgong as well, I think if we get a critical, it's a 1-shot, but we get a normal one. He hits us with Aurora Beam, which is good damage, but we finish it off with the second Razor Leaf. Now for his Pizzoline, his final Pokemon. We go for a Body Slam, hoping for a Paralyze, which we do get. He does actually retain Paralyzed. We go for a second Body Slam, which happens to be a critical. And we've earned the 7th badge very easily as well. So now we have to go actually to the Radio Tower, because Team Rocket's playing up. So we get to the top, and then there's the guy acting as the executive. but he turns out to be another Team Rocket executive or something. He brings out his coffins. Again, I always include this battle because each coffin knows self-destruct. So if I think 2 or 3 of them use it, you pretty much get taken out even at level 50. So it can sometimes be a problem. But luckily, because we have the type disadvantage, because poison is super effective against the grass, they mainly go for sludge. So we don't actually get taken out too much with self-destruct, as it just goes for sludge. The wheezing obviously can do a bit more damage, but luckily we get a critical on it. And it's just time for the final coffins, where we continuously use body slam, getting some criticals to finish it off. After we do defeat him, he gives us the basement key, which is where we will head next. And we actually bump into our rival. Our rival is taking it upon himself to try and take down the Team Rocket members. But obviously we do that instead. Anyway, we're going to take on our rival now. He brings out his Golbat to begin with. That knows Confuse Ray, which could be a little bit of a problem, because I think now he actually has a Typhlosion, which could be a problem. But luckily we do outspeed his Golbat and hit him with a body slam, and he actually only has a Quelava as the source, so we take it down with 2 body slams. So it's not right now that he has his Typhlosion. Go on to his Magnemite. We go for Razor Leaf, as that's most effective. The second Razor Leaf takes that out as well, and he also has a Sneevil I think now as well, but he brings out Haunter next. So we go for Razor Leaf, get trapped in with Mean Look, go for another Razor Leaf, which takes that out with a critical. And he finally brings out his Sneevil, which again, part ice, so could do some good damage against us, but we do very good damage with the body slam. So the second one will finish that off and end the rival. We complete the rest of the basement, get the key from the executive, or the radio executive, before heading over to the second side in the radio tower, where we go up to the top to face the acting leader of the Team Rocket members, I believe. He brings out Houndour. We go for body slam. Well, we go for a light screen as that protects us from the ember. Then we go for body slam to take that out. Coffin comes here, so we go for some more body slams here as it gets paralyzed. We're hit with sludge again. Could have poisoned us, I think. Also gets a critical, which isn't too good, but we take that out. I think this Houndour knows flamethrower as well, so that's why we needed the light screen on, just in case we don't one-shot it, which we don't. Luckily, it goes for an ember, and our light screen then goes off, but the second body slam will finish him. So that's the end of that. After which we make our way through the ice cave, I think, or ice path or something. Make our way over to the Blackhorn City to eventually go and face Claire. Now, again, she has 3 Dragon Airs that know moves like Thunder Wave, Ice Beam and everything, so it's continuously trying to fight her until the Thunder Wave doesn't hit you, basically, because of whatever happens. So we continuously use body slams on the first 2 Dragon Airs and get rid of them because their move isn't working. We continuously use body slam again on the third one, but we get hit with a Thunder Wave this time. The second body slam will take that one down, so it's on to a final Pokemon, Kingdra, which we go for Razor Leaf if we're hit with a Hyper Beam. We are trapped with Paralyzed, but we get our second Razor Leaf on. We're hit with another Hyper Beam, leaving us with 28 HP. Managed to get on the last 2 Razor Leafs though, and we've earned the 8th and final badge in Johto. So all we got left to do now is go and make our way over to the Elite Four before we then head over to Kanto, basically. Anyway, we're in Victory Road, and we bump into our rival once again. This is where he has a Typhlosion. I forgot earlier on, I thought he had it, but it's actually, this is when he has it. It's time for a Sneevil, which we get a one-shot critical with Body Slam. Now for Golbat once again, we go for Body Slam, but we don't quite take it on, so we get hit with the Confuse Ray. We hit ourselves once as with them hit with a Wing Attack, which does some good damage. We go for a Light Screen, as I know he's got his Typhlosion, so I want to get that on. We're then hit with Leech Life, so it heals up a bit. We go for a Synthesis to heal up ourselves, as we're hit with another Leech Life. We then go for a second Synthesis, as we're getting ourselves some health up in preparation for that Typhlosion. We continuously do it until we're in a positive, or until we run out, I think, as he hits us with Leech Life again. So I think now our Light Screen fails, we go for a Body Slam, and now he's going to bring out his Typhlosion, I believe. Yeah, it is. So we go for Body Slam here, which goes for a Paralyze. Luckily, it actually misses with the Smoke Screen, so I didn't have to worry about using that Light Screen whatsoever. Anyway, now it's time for his Magneton. We miss. We go for another Razor Leaf after we get Paralyzed, and we stay Paralyzed. We're now getting hit with Sonic Booms, and then it misses, but we eventually get one Razor Leaf on. Sonic Boom hits us once again. We get another Razor Leaf on, and then we go for a Synthesis, as we've not got a lot of health, and I can't remember if he has Gengar at this point or whatnot. Anyway, we take down Magneton, and it's now time for Haunter. So he gets us with a Shadow Ball. We go for a Razor Leaf, getting a critical. Hits us with a second Shadow Ball. We get our second Razor Leaf on to take that down. Now it's time for the final Pokemon, Cadabra, which can go down in one Body Slam. If it hits with Psychic or Confusion, it would have taken us out, but it goes for a Future Sight. Don't know why. Anyway, we take that on, and we're now ready to move on to the Elite Four. So, the first member is Will. I believe we trained up to level 65 before we attempted this. 60 actually. Anyway, we put on Light Screen as that's going to protect us from the Psychics. We then go for Body Slam as its X2 is weak to physical moves. So we go for the second Body Slam that takes that down. Now for Jinx, we also go for Body Slam because that's weak against it. All of these Pokemon are pretty much weak against Body Slam apart from the Slow Blow, but we have a Razor Leaf to take that on. When it comes to Executor, it goes for a Reflect, which is obviously annoying, so we go for Light Screens because we need to protect against that heavy Psychic move. And then we heal up with Synthesis. We get hit with Egg Bomb, but we're going to keep healing up because obviously we need to make sure we've got a bit more health just in case we can't take on the second X2. So we continuously heal as he misses with a Egg Bomb, so we go for the Body Slam to finish it off as his Reflect weared off. Now it's time for the X2 and our Light Screen wears off, so we put that back on as we're hit with Psychic, which doesn't do a lot of damage now. So we continually hit with the Body Slam to eventually take down the second X2. And it's now time for the final Pokemon, Slowbro. So we're going to go up to Razor Leaf. That hits some very good damage, nearly taken it out. Uses Amnesia, we go for the second Razor Leaf, and we've taken down the first Elite Four member. Well, it's now time for us to move on to the second Elite Four member, Koga. He obviously has the type advantage being Poison, so I don't know if I had to train up a bit more before we fighted him. Yeah, we did. We went and got 2 levels up, 2 or 3 levels up before we go and take him on. His first Arachnus is quite easy to take down as it just tries to go for well, double teams and then goes for Giga Drains or whatever. So we decided to use one Body Slam and then go for some Razor Leafs as I wanted to save some of the PP. Then we go for Body Slam on the Venomoth and we get paralyzed on as he misses with the Supersonic. The Razor Leaf technique now as I'm trying to save some of the Body Slams. Now it's time for Muck. This is a little bit heavier hitting, so we have to go for the Body Slam. Luckily we get critical, uses Acid Armor, so the second Body Slam takes that down. For Crobat now, we're going to go for some Body Slams here because that's what does the good damage. He misses with Toxic and we go for a few more Body Slams before it heals up with a full restore. So again, going for Body Slam, we manage to get the Paralyze on. He remains paralyzed and we finish it off eventually with Body Slam. So now it's time for the final Pokemon, Fortreats. Now the problem with this one is it's type Steel, so it's got some heavy defense as well as being Bug, so I think the best move out of the two is to go for Razor Leaf. Luckily it only really uses Swift. It does have Explosion, which I think if it were to use it, it would take you out, but luckily it doesn't use it and we managed to win. We're now moving on to the third member, which is Bruno, so he's moved up in the world by 1 position. Anyway, he's going to bring out his Hitmontop, which we obviously go for Razor Leaf as it does some good damage. I think it also knows Dig, but it goes for quick attacks for some reason, not sure. Anyway, the Body Slam takes that one out. Now it's time for Hitmonchamp, which we go for Body Slam as it did some good damage against the first one. I thought we would continue it on. We now go for Razor Leaf, and we miss as it hits us with Fire Punch. We now go for Razor Leaf once again and finish him off. So now time for Hitmonlee. I think we're going to go for Body Slam once again, as again it's got weaker defense. It has higher attack though, but we go for Synthesis as we're going to heal up. Then uses a Foresight for whatever reason. We go for Synthesis once again, take advantage. He then misses and hits himself with the high jump kick. Well done. Now time for Machamp. We go for Synthesis for one more time. I think that was me clicking too much. We then go for Razor Leaf and he misses with Cross Chop. We go for a second Razor Leaf. Hits us with Cross Chop. I think Cross Chop can do a lot of damage with criticals. Then heals up with a Max Potion. So we managed to get on 1 Razor Leaf before missing with the second one. Get another Razor Leaf on, which luckily was a critical and took it out. Now time for the Onyx. We go for Razor Leaf once on that, which is obviously going to finish it off, being very weak to that. And we defeated Bruno. So obviously we heal up, whatnot, and make our way over to go and face Karen, the Dark type gym leader or Elite Four member. For Umbreon, we go for Body Slam as it was the best move that we have. We continuously use Body Slam as we get paralyzed and for some reason Sand Attack's not working. A lot of the moves on this for some reason don't work after a while. Don't know why, it's just obviously the flaw in Generation 2. When it comes to Vileplume, we go for a couple of Body Slams to take care of that. For Houndoom, again we put on Light Screen as we hit with a Flamethrower. We then go for Body Slams on this to hit some good damage. It hits us with a second Flamethrower. Luckily that Light Screen is doing its job and healing us, but if it does get a critical, it doesn't really work. Anyway, we go for a Synthesis to heal up on the Gengar, hits us with Lick. We go for a Synthesis again just to heal up to as much as we can. Obviously Spike doesn't work, also our Light Screen's dropped. Now it's time for Razor Leafs as we hit with Spike once again. Go for another Razor Leaf, hit with another Spike, another Razor Leaf, and get a critical to finish it off. I'm surprised they didn't use something like Curse or whatnot. Now time for the final Murkrow. We go for a Body Slam, nearly takes out, hit with a Fate Attack. The second Body Slam finishes off Karen. So we now make our way over to Lance. I believe I had to try Lance every 2 levels or something, or every 3 levels, I can't remember. I think I just continuously did the Elite Four trying on Lance until we got to level 69. So the first Pokemon Gyarados is quite easy, as it always goes for the Rain Dance, which isn't too much of a problem as we haven't really got any moves that would affect. We're hit with the Thunder Wave on the Dragonite, which is where it's pretty much impossible to do, so we attempt him again. And we obviously have the same strategy with the Gyarados, using Body Slams and using Razor Leafs or whatever to take it down. We're trying to basically fight Lance when his Thunder Wave isn't going to hit us or isn't going to work, as you see there. So now we can actually get our Body Slams on to take down the first Dragonite. Then it comes to his Aerodactyl. Luckily, it's quite weak to the Razor Leaf. Although it can do some good damage having heavy hitting and wing attack, we luckily get to critical and take that one down. For Charizard, because I think the rain was still on or it just stopped or whatever, it didn't hit as much damage. But we get our Light Screen on as well, which is good as we outspeed it. We then go for a Body Slam to get the Paralyze, so that's even better as we hit with another Flamethrower. We then go for Synthesis because that's all good as well. Here with Flamethrower once again, we'll go for a second Synthesis. I think planning it that we should now go for a Body Slam or the second Body Slam, as our Light Screen's going to go off soon. Maybe I plan, yeah, that's when I plan it. So we now go for a Body Slam to finish off the Charizard. So it's time for his second to last Dragonite. We obviously go for a Light Screen because this one knows Blizzard, I think, and it also knows Fire Blast. Hits us with Outrage though, so that's not too much of an issue as we go for our Body Slams. Outrage not doing a lot. We eventually take it down. So it's on to its final and last Dragonite. So we go for Synthesis to heal up as it hits us with Hyper Beam, which was lucky. If I didn't heal up, we would have got taken out. We heal up once again as Safeguard runs out and he must recharge. We then put Light Screen back on. We hit with Thunder Wave, which is a little bit annoying. We then hit with another Hyper Beam. Luckily it has to heal up the second time, or has to charge up, so we managed to get 2 on. Misses with the final Hyper Beam and we get our last Body Slam on, which means we've defeated Lance and become the new champion of Johto area at least. So that's it. Really, all we got to do next after we've gone through the Hall of Fame, and basically we have to go through the Kanto gym leaders. Then we have to go and find Red, I believe, before we can become the true champion of Generation 2. So here it is. Here's the team. Managed to do it with a level 70 Chikorita, and then here's all the HM Pokemon that I used along the way. Hoothoot, Gyarados or whatnot, and we managed to do this in only under 14 hours, so far it's been pretty good. Now I did add in the gym leader battles on this attempt when it came to this challenge, so I've sped it up by a factor of I think it's 6 or 7. I'll put a little time skip here of when we get to blue, because I don't really feel like I have to explain what happens to the gym leaders. We've got a few levels, we use the moves and we get through it, so yeah. So we finally make it onto blue. Obviously Blaine was a little bit harder having the fire types, but not too much of a problem. Right, his first Pokemon, Pidgeot, obviously has the type advantage, but we go for Body Slam. He hits us back with Body Slam. Luckily none of us gets paralyzed, and the second Body Slam ends up being a critical. Exetor, again we go for Body Slam. I should have probably put Light Screen on first, but it goes for Solar Beam for whatever reason. We go for the Light Screen and it manages to stay paralyzed. Hits us then with an Egg Bomb, so we're now going to go for some more Body Slams. I think I might have used the second Light Screen by accident, but it doesn't matter too much. He then goes up with a full restore, but that means we should be able to go for 2 Body Slams. Then he hits us with an Egg Bomb once again, and then the final, well, actually he heals up once again with another full restore. He keeps bamming on full restores, now I remember this. We get a critical with Razor Leaf. We go for Synthesis as we're going to need to heal up, obviously. He goes for another Solar Beam, so we go for the Light Screen. That's going to protect us. And then we can now go for another Synthesis to heal up once again, because he does have an Arcanine. Arcanine with Flamethrower can be quite heavy hitting, so we need a bit of HP. Luckily that Body Slam puts on Paralyze once again as we hit with that Egg Bomb, and then Body Slam will take down the Exetor. Finally, Arcanine, the problem. We go for a Body Slam though, but get a critical. Flamethrower hits us and does some good damage. If that was a critical, I think it could take you out even with Light Screen on. The second Body Slam takes down the issue. Now it's time for Alakazam, but a single Body Slam nearly takes it out actually. We're left with 4 HP due to Light Screen being awesome, and then we take it down. Now it's time for Gyarados once again, so I go for Synthesis, of course, because we don't have a lot of HP. He goes for Twister, obviously, because we only had a little bit of HP before. We go for a Razor Leaf, which gets a critical. He misses with Hyper Beam. I do believe Hyper Beam would have taken us out, but we managed to finish off Gyarados, and it's time for Rhydon, which is very easy. It's a one-shot with the Razor Leaf. So that's the end of Blue. Obviously, Blue is a little bit stronger than the other gym leaders, being an ex-champion. So that's it. We go down to Professor Oak's lab, and he now allows us to go over to the Mount Silver. This is where we encounter Red, the true champion of the game. So when it comes to Red, we couldn't do this until we get up to level 94 at least, because of the issues with his Charizard outspeeding us and other things like that. So we can take down Pikachu with a single Razor Leaf if it's a critical. When it comes to Venusaur, the main problem with Venusaur is Sunny Day, because that boosts up the Charizard's Flamethrower. So we have to try and get it where it uses the Sunny Day or doesn't use the Sunny Day and doesn't have it active when it gets to his Charizard. So that can sometimes be a bit of a problem. Luckily on this attempt though, we managed to get on a Paralyze to his Charizard and he doesn't break through and we take it out. Espeon gets on its Reflect as our Light Screen and whatnot goes down. I'll put it on because of the protection against Psychic. I think because there was a Sunny Day used earlier on, we get extra HP from the Synthesis because there's more sun in the air or whatever, I'm not sure. We're then hit with Psychic once again because it's a heavy hitting move, so we just heal up and then it hits us with Psychic once again. I think if we get that defense drop, that can be a problem, but not too much. We waited for Reflect to go down before using a Body Slam. Now it's time for Snorlax. Snorlax has got some heavy health and obviously can do some good damage at the same time with Body Slam. We managed to get paralyzed on, he doesn't, so that's always good. We go for it again and he stays paralyzed, so the last Body Slam or fourth Body Slam takes that down. It's now time for his Blastoise, which we go for Razor Leaf, which hits very good damage. In fact, it takes it out because it's a critical, and we've defeated Red, becoming the true champion of Johto. As always, thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Make sure you keep up to date with joining me either on Twitter or Discord. That's all from me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.